you want to say as an animal communicator to
Yeah.
people who are consuming non-veg?
It is true that as much as possible, we should not hurt another being. It is true because they are like feeling, throbbing entities, beings, living beings.
Yeah.
They also feel a lot. You may eat non-veg, but you might be very kind-hearted person at heart. It's not that intention that I want to kill an animal and eat it, because I may have my own body makeup.
The cat passed away suddenly because it took whatever bad omen was supposed to hit the family. The cat took it upon herself. I've heard so many such stories. Is there any truth?
I'm really not wanting animal communication to be used as a field where there are a lot of superstitions. So my job is not to deal with any such things. Animal communication is dealing with that spiritual part.
Right.
Okay, but we still need vets. We still need medical treatment, which is the physical part.
Because you use the word freely when we are choosing euthanasia for the pet. At times, look, I don't mean to judge the pet parents who are going ahead with it. I'm sure even they are going through a havoc of a time while opting for euthanasia. Most often, I'm sure the whole purpose behind it must be that I do not want my pet to go through
Pain.
more suffering, right? Are there times when the pets even agree that I am in so much physical pain, I would actually want to be put down?
Yes.
And I understand what my guardians, the thought they are coming from.
Yes. So sometimes, see, euthanasia, they don't see it as a death injection, The way we see it is like euthanasia is something like a death injection.
Right.
It's not the way they see it. So whenever I talk to them, I will ask them, do you need help crossing over? Do you need help to leave your body?
Beautifully that's put. Yeah.
Because since you are in so much pain and you are having difficulty, most of the times, like, it actually is individual again. It's not like, it is not a general thing. But pet parents, if they are feeling like the guardians, if they are feeling that no, we really need help, not only because the animal is in pain, because we are also going through a lot of physical exhaustion, staying awake entire nights and nights for a month just to take care of, it puts a lot of burden onto the guardian as well. And there is where...
Sorry, I may not agree. Like we were speaking earlier, had it been your own biological child, would you still complain? I'm sorry, I understand. I'm humanizing the pet.
Yeah.
But again, even if you look at it as a living entity, if it's your own parent that you're looking after, if it's your own biological child that you're looking after, any entity, would you still be like, oh, I have sleepless nights? I'm sorry, I may sound very judgmental, but
no, that's absolutely right.
To my heart.
No, so
because
what?
Aren't you playing with the free will?
Yeah.
Of a living entity?
Yeah.
Like in the case that you mentioned, all right?
Yeah.
That animal wanted to live. While there are cases, you said that there are animals who understand that they also need help in crossing over.
Yeah. So I'm actually referring to that. Those animals who need help crossing over, if they see their guardian going through a lot of physical exhaustion, and also because of the family dynamics at home, see, the animal is also feeling dependent onto you, the care you provide for that particular animal. And they are sometimes fine with being helped medically. No, I'm not referring to because they are having physical exhaustion, that's why they are choosing to euthanize. But I am saying that the animal is fine whatever way the family does it, like whether the family puts him down or whether the family actually allows him to pass away naturally. Because euthanasia is actually all over the world. Sometimes it is used willingly, like there are some parts of the world where it is actually permitted that.
That brings me back to Millie, your dog who crossed over naturally.
Yeah.
All right. And you said that you were able to communicate with her. So what I'm trying to understand is, when did you realize that you are an animal communicator? Like, have you learned the skill? Did it was it gifted to you spiritually? How? Tell me about your journey.
Yeah, so yes, I have learned animal communication. I have 3-4 mentors and I'm still learning.
Okay.
So it's not a gift. See, each one of us as a child, we used to imagine a lot. We used to really feel in tune with nature. You know, even a kid, if the kid, comes near me and says that the fish is talking to me and the fish wants this, we always, try to just rub it off because, we just tell our kids that no, you are just imagining. It's not true. Fishes can't talk like that.
Yes.
We always tend to rub it off, but it's not like that. So as kids, we were always in tune with the entire nature around us.
Right.
It has been that way. Now here, learning is not actually learning ABCD, but it is actually remembering, remembering the ability which we have. Because we are part of nature.
But
how can we lose the connection with nature? We are nature. The body is made up of 5 elements. Cat is also made up of the same elements my body is made up of. We all have come from soil. So it's not that we have lost the connection. The connection is there, but because of the layerings of mind, conditioning, we lose the ability to, really feel things around us.
Right.
And not see things with conditioned eyes. Really feel things, really feel things.
So when there is a dog and a cat, for example, living in the same house, how do these two different species communicate with one another?
Yeah, so this is an interesting question. So they are expert in telepathic communication. They can really fluently communicate with each other telepathically, and they also communicate a lot through images and a lot through with one another, and a lot through feelings. So now there is this very famous story of there is one book which is Elephant Whisperer, Lawrence Anthony, if I am not wrong, I need to check the name, but this man was living with wild elephants.
Yes.
And the region where
he just won an Oscar as well.
Yeah, yes. And the region where he was staying, it was a very highly prone to poachers. Now these elephants communicated with each other whenever there was going to be a potential poachers attack, and they used to just vanish, disappear somewhere in the forest where no human being can find them. Now how do they communicate with each other at such a mass level? Because entire troop of elephants, they just communicating with each other and isolating themselves to a patch where poachers can't locate them. Wow. So they do communicate, and they are more in tune with their self,
So, but this is elephants communicating with elephants, but like one species of animal can communicate with another species of animal as well.
Yes, a lot. I know I have an example of this particular guardian who has a grey African parrot, and when I spoke with him, her name is Buttercup. So when I spoke with Buttercup, she's telling me that I'm not afraid of dogs at home. I can roam freely, and she's just very friendly. She considers herself like a dog. She's just, she's very free in the family, and no dog touches her, does anything to her.
Right.
So
because they have communicated
with one another
and coexist in this house.
Yes.
Wow.
Very touching examples, very touching examples. So it is not only cat and dog, it is also bird and dog or any species communicating with any other species.
Right. And now this question has been running on my mind for a long time. And the thought came from my daughter, who's all of 5, and one fine day she just chose not to eat non-veg. I do not know what flipped into her. She must have seen, and she actually understood that when I'm, without much thought, when I'm just grabbing a piece of chicken and eating, she asked like, where does this come from? And I said that this is not grown in a farm. You see a rooster, a hen, they are killed, and the meat is fried or however it's cooked, and that becomes your meal. And then she just folded her hands and she's like, please, please, I do not wish to hurt another animal just to fill my tummy. Enough has been provided to us. A 5-year-old saying this, that there are fruits, there are vegetables, everything is provided to us.
Yeah.
So I do not wish to harm any animal.
Yeah.
While my younger one, she hogs onto it.
Yeah.
And I don't think it's my job to make that choice for them. I let them be. But the question here is, what do you want to see as an animal communicator to people who are consuming non-veg?
Yeah, so it is actually individual choice. As you rightly said, that your younger one chooses not to and elder one chooses to. So it's individual choice. But it is true that as much as possible, we should not hurt another being. It is true, because they are like feeling, throbbing entities, you know, living beings.
Yeah.
They also feel a lot.
Yeah.
Having said that, I will give you this very famous example of African tribes, very ancient tribes in Africa. Even if they are going for hunting, they will say a prayer. And prayer means something like this, that we all have come from the same soil, but still we have our own physical needs. So I need to consume some meat in order to survive in the wild. Are you willing to sacrifice your life for us? And if you do, we promise you that we will also die one day, and we will mix with the same soil from which we all have come. So this is a prayer which they say even before going for hunting. So the animal obviously is going to not like, you know, being hunted, but the animal which appears when they go for hunting is the animal's soul who has decided to sacrifice.
On a very higher level.
On a very higher level, the animal will still resist, because its physical body, it's conditioned in mind. But this is, we are talking about African tribe. But if I am provided with everything, why to really harm another being? So as much as possible, try not to hurt any other being. I will add on to it by words, thoughts or actions. Not just by, you know, you may eat non-veg, but you might be very kind-hearted person at heart. It's not that intention that, you know, I want to kill an animal and eat it, because I may have my own body makeup. And my body might be, you know, really needing that kind of food. But it is really, again, it is an individual choice, because, you know.
It is an individual choice. And though, I mean, come on, it's a whole different gamut of topic altogether, where we know that we can survive without hurting another one. But again, even as I eat vegetarian food, again out of choice, because I once went to a slaughterhouse. My mom sent me to get chicken, and I was like, all right, it's interesting, let me see where chicken comes from. And I saw the slaughtering. And I came home and I cried my eyes out. I'm like, is this how we've been celebrating our Sundays and saying, oh, the Sunday meal was good? Like, I do not wish to do that. The same thing my elder one is applying, again, out of her own thing, because I believe in free will. Even if she's 5 or my younger one is 3, it's absolutely their choice. But to choose veg or non-veg, again, a whole different topic. A lot has been provided to us. But I have this question again. You know, I've heard a lot of people say that the cat passed away suddenly because it took whatever, you know, bad omen was supposed to hit the family. The cat took it upon herself. I've heard so many such stories. Is there any truth to this?
So I really don't think of that entire thing that way. There are people who approach me that this is what has happened. But see, I'm really not wanting animal communication to be used as a field where there are a lot of superstitions. So my job is not to deal with any such things. I'm very clear on that.
I remember when we first spoke also, you said that my main agenda behind having this interview is to kill the superstition attached
Yes.
to this profession.
Exactly, exactly. So the things which are scientific, and this is just the metaphysical part which we are talking about. So animal communication is just the metaphysical part.
Right.
So because, for example, we all human beings are made up of, for example, three entities: physical body, emotional body, which are our content of emotions, and spiritual body. So animal communication is dealing with that spiritual part.
Right.
Okay, but we still need vets, we still need medical treatment, which is the physical part.
Like it goes for humans as well.
Humans as well, and emotional part also. Animal communication is about emotional part also, because whenever I communicate with animal expresses the feelings.
Of course, if it's a living being, it has its heart, it has its feelings.
And
like
there the real healing begins.
Wow.
So it is something that my heart is touching your heart. And is reminding you of your inner power. It's not only me doing, see, as an animal communicator, I am not healing you. I am talking to you, you are expressing the feelings to me, and in that process you are realizing that you are beyond your feelings.
Wow.
And their healing begins. So your own soul is healing you. I am not doing anything to you.
You're just reminding yourself of who you actually are, your truest essence.
Yes, because my soul is connected to your soul.
Yes.
So that is why I just keep it very at a heart opening level. I really don't want, to use any such things like, whatever, like I won't even utter that word which you just mentioned about. Having accepted that there might be some such things which we don't know of. Okay, fine. So there are a lot of other things which we don't understand which are happening in my life, just including animal communication. Just because we have not experienced it, we don't believe in it. So there are many who don't believe in telepathy, but you still, the moment you remember your mom, your mom gives you a call. Now that is also telepathy. So it's not a question of whether I am believing or not. But for me, myself, I choose not to go for any such things, because it is ultimately your inner power. So touch it and move beyond it. I mean, why you are constantly thinking or getting stuck in somewhere like this, which doesn't even make sense, because we are neither good or bad. We are beyond it. So let us move beyond it.
How beautifully you put all of this. So again, just you speak when you're communicating with animals, you communicate with pets as well as animals from the wild?
Wild, yes. So there is this famous leopardess in Sanjay Gandhi National Park, and
the way you're speaking about her with that grin on your face, is she already your friend?
Yes, so I have communicated with her many times, and we know certain details about her, because her past is shared on social media. So we know certain details about her, but even if I had not read the details before, and even my course participants who joined my course, I asked them to communicate with her, and most of the times they receive information correctly of what she has gone through in her life. So it's really, it's really so touching, especially with wild animals. They do have feelings as well, just like us.
And does it bother them that they are not out in the open and they are put in a cage?
Yeah, so this leopardess whom I am talking to is actually out in the open. But there are certain, as you said, in zoos and all, they do have their own things to express a lot. They do have a lot to say. Definitely so. I mean, who will like to be caged?
Right. On that note, that brings us to the end of our show. But Gouri, before leaving, is there any message that you would want to give to our viewers who are pet parents, who are pet guardians, like you said, or who are willing to get a pet home? Any message, anything related to animals, any of your learnings that you think can help our viewers?
So what I feel is, don't look at things from your own projection, from your own beliefs. Be open to feel another being and start getting in touch with yourself. So it is not about just communicating with other beings, but the more you communicate with your own self, then you will obviously communicate with everything around you. So touch that inner core. See, it is not only animal communication is not something like a miracle. It is more about your journey inward. So it is your own spiritual journey, if I can use that word. But the way I define spiritual is the gap between two thoughts. So it is the absence of thinking and the gap between two thoughts. There are still thoughts.
Beings.
Yeah, because we are human beings.
Yeah.
And our minds will have thoughts.
Of course. Yeah.
But it is absence of thinking, that space which I create when I talk with animal.
Yeah.
So try to create that space and like consider animal communication not only as talking to animals, but also as talking and being in sync with everyone around.
Yeah.
Even the rocks, soil, water, everything,
With
entire nature.
Because that actually is our truest essence.
Yes.
It's just that it's being layered with a lot of conditioning.
Yes.
Therefore, what you do seems so different to us.
Yeah. And we consider them as inanimate objects.
Yeah.
But they can also talk to us.
Yeah.
Landscapes can talk to us, rivers can talk to us, they have message for us.
On that note, Gouri, thank you so much for coming to the Talk About It with Maana show.
Thank you.
So much happened on this one episode. We've never shot an episode where I, without being a pet parent, have cried. There's so much that I've gotten to know with my curious mind with these kind of questions, as in what actually goes on behind these animals, and there's so much that all of us are going to take back from the show.
Thank you. Thanks a lot.
Thank you for joining.
So nice being here with you. Thank you.
It was lovely having you. Thank you once again.
Thank you.
you want to say as an animal communicator to
Yeah.
people who are consuming non-veg?
It is true that as much as possible, we should not hurt another being. It is true because they are like feeling, throbbing entities, you know, beings, living beings.
Yeah.
They also feel a lot.
Yeah.
You may eat non-veg, but you might be very kind-hearted person at heart.
Yeah.
It's not that intention that, you know, I want to kill an animal and eat it, because I may have my own body makeup.
The cat passed away suddenly because it took whatever, you know, bad omen was supposed to hit the family. The cat took it upon herself. I've heard so many such stories. Is there any truth to this?
I'm really not wanting animal communication to be used as a field where there are a lot of superstitions. So my job is not to deal with any such things. Animal communication is dealing with that spiritual part.
Right.
Okay, but we still need vets, we still need medical treatment, which is the physical part.